सैली सैली परदेशबाट माउला सुन सैली सैली 40 गतेलाई रमाउला सुन सैली सैली परदेशबाट माउला सुन सैली सैली 40 गतेलाई रमाउला अनि के साथी अरु के छ
I just have to get from here. We're getting onto this helicopter. It's really strange. Okay, guys. Yeah, it's a great one. Look at the chopper. And I'm in chopper. I read about it very much. Where are we? Nepal, baby. Yeah. I'm about to take off on the chopper. Yeah, that's what it looks like. You see that? Just brilliant. No, this is from the air, from the air.
I don't know. सुन सैली सैली परदेशबाट माउला सुन सैली
Say hi.
सैली
This is Nepali Pahari Ride at the very top of the hill. It's a fantastic view. People work hard and the visitors get to take in a whole lot. So I get to stay for the next day. Cruising down the street of Beach Bazaar, my friend here, and I suppose the setting is like a quiet street in Mumbai somewhere, but the pleasantries are so, I don't know, deep within the culture that it's very difficult for everybody else to understand. The devastation of the earthquake still shows in certain parts. Whilst a lot of areas have already rebuilt, new colors, new designs. But I think the culture will always remain the same. Hoot actually means excuse me. People are not bothered by the hoot. And just like in Kathmandu, the dust is not settled yet. Even the locals use masks. Hey? Yeah. Please look at this is his head, on his head. They use a band over their forehead to prop the weight of whatever they carry. Whether it be cement, or in this guy's case, an entire fridge. This is one of the villages where we're mainly shooting at. Not the glitz and glamour of the beautiful panorama where we're staying, because much of these buildings have been shaken or completely drop off. We're making our way to quite an advantage point where it's expected to be quite beautiful, and we're going to taste some local momos. And we'll keep it running until we reach more crowded areas. Crowded in terms of these little buildings. Some merely put together with mud and stone and wood. A lot of them put back together with rubble from the earthquake. It's generally a joke when people say after a small tremor that we will rebuild. But if you actually knew the magnitude of what happened here previously, and to see how people still live, go on living, go on rebuilding, you won't take that joke that much seriously anymore. And the strange fact of the matter is, some of these buildings actually withstood the earthquake. There's a truck making its way into this narrow road. Generally, people make way for people here. It's never affects their temperament. Auntie's rice is in the way. These three guys are my friends from the lodge where we're staying. And one more amazing thing is how dogs and goats meander about like friends. Look at that building. Wow. What's left of it? Places of prayer that this are central in each area. Cowshed. And it seems like a local eatery, or what we know as a tuck shop. Hello, namaste. I'm out of breath now. Next take. The Dolakha Peace Park that is being built. Just walked through it. Saw a lot of construction and stuff. And then this is actually a viewing area. Okay, the hills I'm sure we've seen enough of. But those are the mountain ranges from a completely different angle. You can see that. But what's better than anything else is the drop from where we're standing. That shows a village. And that river. Sign reads Sri Raj Kuleshwar Basic School. It's a high school and a primary school. It's a replacement of what used to be huge brick buildings right here. Production offices temporarily held here in a makeshift block here. This is some of the rubble from what used to be a school. Most of the wood left over from the earthquake, the devastation of the earthquake, is used for fire cooking mainly. I'm told that there was a huge double-story house on that side, as well as right here. Those families past family members as well as
I'm gonna walk away slowly, but I'm trying to hook up with those musicians a little later.
rework their entire lives.
I don't know if I'm allowed to film this.
Not all glitz and glamour. My final morning in this beautiful place. I'm going to miss it, but it's one of those things that you have to move on from, and this was phenomenal for me, and I can only think that I'd move on to even more phenomenal things. And even though you might not see through this camera lens, my great Mount Gauri Shankar, even this morning, she gave me that little skip in my heartbeat. Can't say I've made many friends. I actually have with the locals. Really had some kind of a bonding with me, especially with us having a second language that is common, which is Hindi. And so I say goodbye together with my friend Kaya. Gonna head off on the road, 9-hour trip to Kathmandu. Check you later.
If I'm allowed to film this.
That is not right. That would be a little more
Yeah.
We have like 3 other flats.
They would be. Yeah, I've no idea what that was. Whether they've got any control of it.
Just like I want to see.
From Kathmandu. Should have taken us an hour back.
So the airport area है.
अच्छा. वैसे कुछ नहीं. Close to the airport area, which is where we lifted off from in the chopper. Combined with the military base, obviously for landing and takeoff purposes. And this is the traffic that's taking us back to the hotel. I'm not going to make it in that hour, but make the most of it. back in Lazimpat, Kathmandu. Took early morning walk. Gonna go any further before I get lost. This is the kind of city living of this place. Lots of Tatas here. Tata, Mahindra. And then there are your Hondas and Fords as well. And of course, lots of bicycles and lots of motorcycles. These little cars, the Maruti cars, also imported from India. Most of the imports are from India, especially in terms of anything that has to do with engineering and food supplies. They also have a no visa policy, which means entry into India from Nepal and vice versa is absolutely free of any paperwork. I think at worst case scenario, you might stop to check if you have your own Indian paperwork or your own Nepali paperwork, but entry is free through the border. Not on the Tibetan side though. There's a local prayer place. Each community has a prayer place. Hinduism is very highly maintained. And not just this, and this is an actual temple, but at every stop, every so many meters, there's a little shrine where the people from that little area pray every morning and afternoon. So these are the city slickers of Kathmandu. This is awesome.
Time to head back home. Goodbye, Nepal.